Well, good evening. Hi there, Jeepin. Thanks for catching the stream this time, and hello, Chloe. And food sounds like a very good idea, but food is an hour off for me, so there we go. Right, evening, everybody. You're not here, Majenko. Okay, I shall take that in mind. Bear that in mind, thank you. So, as has seemingly become tradition, not quite proceeding as planned this week. The intention was, because it is March, and March is Marcintosh for retro computing Mac nerds to do retro computing Mac nonsense. And I thought I would finally get around to installing AUX, which was Apple's first attempt at Unix for the Mac, on a Quadra, which I've had for over a decade at this point, waiting for me to get around to doing it. But it turns out this is easier said than done. I've joined Majenko at the dinner table. Excellent. Indeed, Chloe, no plan ever survived contact with the enemy, and in this case the enemy came in the shape of floppy disks, apparently. The floppy drive in the Quadra doesn't appear to want to work with any of the disks I have lying around. It won't read anything I feed it, and it offers to format stuff, and then once it's finished formatting it spits it out as defective. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll write the boot disk with the grease weasel, and that also didn't like it up it. So not sure what's going on there. So the plan was to do the installation, and whilst that was running, which would hopefully take about 20 minutes, half an hour, finish off the RGBtoHDMI board we did last week. But yeah, that's not happening. So what I think I'll do is finish off that RGBtoHDMI board. Yes, indeed, nice standard item with the motorised eject and the... At least they are the 1.44 meg compatible ones rather than the 800k variable speed jobbies, like the one in my Mac SE, which has a dead upper head, lower head, upper head, I think. So, yeah, I don't have much luck with 68k Macs. But what I can do is boot AUX from someone else's image on the blue SCSI I was going to use as an installation target. That much is fine. But that robs us of the joy of actually doing the installation of a vintage Unix. So maybe we'll play with it later. Hiya Cop, how you doing? But first let's get on with the RGBtoHDMI, and then we'll see what time it is and maybe play with AUX for half an hour, because I know Majenko was looking forward to it at least. So anyway, I'm a bit flustered because I was literally making a cup of coffee whilst the intro was running, but I could do with a glass of water first. 1 second. And then we'll get on with the... Oh, we have power to the soldering iron. We shall get on with the RGBtoHDMI, and I shall find somewhere to put my coffee that isn't right in front of me. Or maybe I won't. Down here, perhaps. Right, so let's switch over to the other camera and point it not at my gut. Come on. There we go. Right behind me. Ignore the comment. Well, I was wondering what I was doing in your pocket, Cop, because you're doing a very good job of typing without looking at the screen, I must say. So what was I doing? This one, this board here. We were missing the... Where's the box of parts? Box of parts. Big box of parts. Most of that's for the analog board, but... hi Smite, how are you doing? Cobb's always making kinky comments. Some of them are in disguise, though. Those are always fun. You idly wonder how much of the audience notices those, but such is life. Right, so we were missing... We hadn't got around to doing the tact switches and that header and that header because we were missing this header because I had bought the wrong one. So... eBay to the rescue. That should, if I can remember which side it goes on, this side. And we'll do a test fit of this other little one at the same time. Where's that one? It's that one. Oh, I'm doing mostly okay. It's been a hell of a week, but on the plus side, this header and the case for the Raspberry Pi Zero arrived on Wednesday in the same post as the DRAM chips that I'd ordered a week previously. So I fitted one DRAM chip to the VT240 to replace the one that was sort of the 9th dead one on there, and it came up to life. So we have what looks like a working VT240. Stressed yesterday. Yeah. We can blame Microsoft for that stress, to be fair. Oh, that's exciting. These headers are not quite the same height. Where are we? Well, we'll see what happens. The little one is only for the reset pins anyway, and there is no matching header on the board, I have just noticed. Well, whatever. Yes, the VT240 came to life with the new RAM chip in there, and promptly lit up with 2 error messages, but at least they were on the screen, so the video was working. The 2 error messages, one was monitor error, because I was using the monochrome composite output rather than the main colour display, or the main display port, and the other was NVRAM error. So I spent Wednesday evening having a bit of a poke around that to see if I could work out why the NVRAM wasn't working, and eventually it came to life. So it might just have been tired EEPROM, because the NVRAM is a strange little device that it looks like a 256x4 SRAM to the rest of the system in standard pinout for those devices, but it has an extra couple of pins which tell it to copy the data in SRAM to ROM, to EEPROM, and to copy the data from EEPROM into SRAM at startup. So obviously the data in the ROM was either corrupt or whatever. So hang on, 2 things just occurred to me. So yeah, so the data in ROM was corrupt, and I tried overwriting it with fresh settings, and that didn't work. But so I hooked up the logic analyzer to see what was going on, and after sort of I don't know, half a dozen attempts of probing the various pins to check the levels and sort of check voltages and such like, one of the changes stuck, and now it's working perfectly. So not going to look at gift horse in the mouse. We'll call it mouth. So we'll call that good. Yeah, so once we have the analog front end for the RGBtoHDMI board done, I can actually demonstrate that machine. It's got a little bit of weirdness going on still on the serial side, but yeah. Chloe, yes, that's not quite, well, it's an orthogonal problem to the one I have, which is that for the last 20 years I've been a subscriber to their Partner Action Pack to get internal use licenses. As a independent software vendor, it's quite handy to be able to get your mitts on the latest Windows server and such like, so you can always grab whatever your customers are running. Turns out they retired that in January, and my renewal date was February, so I don't get to get it anymore. If I want the same benefits, I have to spend something like $2,000 instead of $350. Which is not going to happen. So it's been an exciting couple of days trying to figure out what to do about that. But email in Apple Mail. Have fun with that. Anyway, what I suddenly remembered there is that Zen commented after my last stream that when I'm busy paying close attention to some soldering, it goes quiet. So in theory, I can start some background music when I am busy doing that instead of chatting away. So let's see what happens if I press this. I don't know what the levels are like. Buy third-party tools, we can't help you. Yes, that about sums it up. Go and get stuffed appears to be the general principle of business these days. Let's move those out of the way. Get the magnifier up so I can see what I'm doing. Right, so yeah, I didn't want the levels too high, and I couldn't figure out how to configure automatic ducking in the about 30 seconds I thought about it before the stream. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And now we have 38 more pins to solder, so bear with me. Oh, I forgot to do a git pull, and the on-screen display there is out of date for the music, but oh well. I shall fix that for next stream. I decided it would probably be useful if I actually complied with the letter of the Creative Commons license and included CC BY 3.0 at the end, but oh well. Yes, of course the first track it picked from the shuffle is the one that I thought was a bit of a dirge but was a decent length, and oh well. Don't want anything too energetic. Apparently I have a very low energy sort of stream, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. Okay, that's one header done. Yeah, mail.app is I mean, for the most part it works. And as for Outlook, the new Outlook is absolutely atrocious. I don't know whether they've done anything about some of it, but when they forcibly upgraded my father to it at home, he realised he could no longer access any of his... Oh no, it imported all his mail archives going back 20 odd years, but it doesn't let you actually put anything new into them. As far as it's concerned, mail in one mailbox shall forever be in that mailbox, and the import created a new mailbox for the old PST file. So yeah, splendid work there, chaps. I don't know whether that header has gone in the right place, to be fair, but where are we? There. Where's... There. I think it's at a bit of a strange angle, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think, yeah, the new Outlook, it's actually just, I believe, the web version, as in literally the cloud Outlook, wrapped in a web view, as far as I can tell anyway, which is wonderful. Hi Douglas, how are you doing? And good to see you. Hype might not be quite the word, but thank you for the sentiment regardless. Right, so it's just... Okay, brilliant. Bend all the pins on the tact switch, that will definitely help. press it. Oh, whoops, I have forgotten one of the headers. Yeah, well, started so I finished. Yeah. Oh yeah, because Word is an absolutely ideal piece of software for desktop publishing work. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Right, and one last header, that one there. So what does that do? That's... Let's have a look. Oh, I see. Right. I have made a mistake here. I need something to prop that up on. Okay. Do I have any kept on tape lying around? I think that some blue tack would do, but apparently not. There we go. Okay. Carrot House, how are you doing? Let's move that away. Yeah, my security does indeed suck. I believe Majenko is off enjoying his dinner. So, I mean, what a fool. It's 6:30. Who has dinner at that early? Right, so what we want to do is... Well, first let me bring up that. Now, can you still hear me this time? Yes, I have fixed that issue. If I unplug that, it goes away. Oops. So there is a Raspberry Pi Zero, and this in theory just plugs on top of it. So let's see what happens. Well, it's a tight fit, but so far so good. And apply some power, and we should get to the CPLD recovery screen, I believe. Hooray! That is what we want. Now, an 812-bit board is correct. Oh dear, what are you talking about in chat? Let me catch up a second. Oh, I see. Carrot House is here, so immediately we're on to room 454, are we? And the title of his sex tape. Excellent, that's what we want to hear. Right, so now what I need to do is work out which of these buttons does what. Did I remember to print that out? Haha. I did not. Okay, bear with. Hang on, I need to do this, even though this is leftover from Monday night, I think it was. Excellent. Just to keep the statistics up, on the bar chart thing only updates if you're actually live when it happens, which is not entirely useful. Right, RGBtoHDMI, getting started guide. Quick start. I have 3 buttons, 1, 2 and 3, and they're not hopefully labelled that I can read at a glance. Right, okay. 1, 2, 3, left to right, but I'm looking at it upside down, so that's fine. Short press menu. In the menu, 1 is select, 2 is down, 3 is up. So if we go down to RGB and select, current blank, confirm, yes. I wonder how long this is supposed to take. Oh. Okay, profile electron isn't going to get us very far with what I want to do next, so we need to say profile down there. No, that's not what I wanted. There. Oh, we have to go through a list like this, do we? What we are looking for is IBM MDA, ideally, because I have a device that should... If I wasn't an idiot, I would have noticed that. But I am an idiot, so I didn't. There we go. Okay, so what we want is a test source, which I do have lying around, so bear with me one moment. If I had a spare mains power lead, there we go. Right, we have a gigantic mess on a breadboard. And what this is the prototype for the video card for System 1. We have up on this pair of boards are this. Where are we? Fake memory board, so this has a pair of ROMs with test data in them and address generation and control logic there, and on the other side the actual scan out board which takes the incoming data and mucks around with it. Why is that chip missing? That's exciting. And feeds it out here as a signal compatible for Hercules or MDA. And then on the breadboard here we have the text mode support and some junk. So that has a character generator ROM hidden away in the mess of crap there, and takes care of exactly. So yeah, focus is tricky. The problem is I'm looking at a image that's about, I don't know, 10 centimeters on the diagonal. On the laptop screen, so whether it's in focus or not, I'm going to presume it's not. It's just easier that way. So if we put the power connector on that way around, and feed it 5 volts from the bench supply. What I'll do first is to avoid calamity, we shall plug in the buffer board, which in theory just slides in here. Although it's a little tight against that socket, I don't like that very much. and then yeah, see it's got this right angled socket there that it slides into, but there's also a vertical one mounted back here on the board that it has to lever into, but then it does eventually go together. And that's just a buffer, well this one is just a buffer so that it doesn't blow the whole thing up if I accidentally stick too much juice down a pin, because the CPLD is 3.3 volts and a lot of the retro stuff this is designed to work with is obviously 5, so we'll see what happens if I plug that in there. Right way up would help. Apply some power here. Right, well what we have is not particularly useful. I'll put this up, but flashing nonsense warning. So that's not useful. I don't know whether that's incorrect profile on the RGBtoHDMI or an error on my board full of nonsense. Oh, that's better. That's the first test screen out of it. But it's obviously cutting off the left side and it's not maintaining sync very well. So let's see if there's anything we can do about that. That one maybe? No sync detected is not a good start. Resolution scaling. Let's try Hercules. Better. Well, okay, we have some promise here. Ah, well that's got the full width. Geometry menu. So clock frequency is right, 16257 is the actual crystal fitted to the board, so that's good, but obviously the lines per frame is not quite right. I can't believe I was that far off in my... because an actual MDA monitor shows this quite happily. Oops. Okay, well, we have... how do we get back out there? There. Well, that's obviously not happy. Try the auto detect. Okay. For EDID. Now, this is a slightly stupid setup because new setting requires reboot. Well, let's try 60 then. Yeah, slightly strange setup here because I've got the RGBtoHDMI feeding into an Extron HDMI matrix switcher under the table, which is feeding a monitor behind me and the open interface capture device here. And the reason was simply that I could switch over to the Mac and also see what I was doing a lot more easily. But no, that hasn't. Let's try. Well, it's definitely a 50 Hz output on the thing. Whoops. Well, let's try that, see what happens. Unable to test, source is not 50 Hz. Right, that's interesting. It should be spot on 50 Hz. Anyway, at least we can tell it's mostly working. There is a recognisable image there, even if it is scrolling up the screen uncontrollably. Or down the screen. 20 to 7. We'll let this... Oh, it's finished. No sync detected. Okay, let's kill the power on that. Right, well, hang on. I might be an idiot. One moment. One second. So that... Huh. That's powering itself off the RGBtoHDMI. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, but I suppose there must be parasitic power coming in on the sync pins or something. Why? Oh, there are pull-ups on the RGBtoHDMI buffer board. Okay. So it's leaking current through the pull-ups and then... right. Yeah, so that was odd because I realised I'd never actually turned the bench supply on. Which is why I thought I was an idiot. But turning it on didn't make any difference. Right, so, yes. I mean, I don't think it stretches the definition of working too far. It's producing video. The video is not useful, but you can see the image there. So nearly all of it is working, it's just failing to lock on the sync. And it could be that my breadboarded nonsense is actually incorrect with its sync timings, even though it works on a monitor. Oh, Majenko's bot. Yeah, Majenko's bot doesn't work for shit. Right, okay, no offence for Jenko, but your bot is an arsehole. So what we're going to do quickly for the last 15 minutes is we'll actually do some March in Tosh stuff and fire up AUX and have a quick look at it. So bear with me 1 second while I grab the keyboard, which is lurking somewhere behind the laptop. So armpit to cam time. And then disappear onto the table to adjust the Extron. 1 moment. So in theory, if I do this, I can do that with the power button. I think Majenko might not forgive me for producing Majenko's body shit merch. If he wants to produce it, I would certainly think about buying one. So let's hope we get some. Why do we not have any video? There we go. Now, oh, there was video. That's odd. It must have done it as soon as I looked away. Sorry. Yeah, I have no idea why the colour is like that. The resolution is completely screwed. I told it I wanted 640 by 480. Hang on, let's do away with that. 640 by 480, and it was having none of it. It's producing something like 1150 by 800, and it looks dreadful, as you can tell. Why is it booted into... Right, it's booted into the wrong thing for a start. This is... What we want is that one. Special restart. But it still won't help because for some reason AUX is picking up the... or it picks up the desktop folder from the installed hard drive, which is someone else's old installation. And yeah, it's looking worse than it was looking yesterday. But let's see if I can scale this somehow. I don't like that that's gone away. Ah. Yeah, so actually let's turn the background music back on. Right. As you're probably aware, those of you who know anything about ancient Mac nonsense, it uses an arrangement of sense pins on its 15-pin video connector to determine what monitor is installed, and bases its decision about resolution on that. Which means when you get a passive adapter for VGA from it, they come with a set of dip switches which you can use to configure which monitor you're pretending to be. Well, it thinks it has a... where's the list? Oh dear. I've lost the user guide. Oh, it's over there. It thinks it has the 21-inch studio display at 1152 by 870 installed. And the manual says that's switches 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. 5 and 6 specify the sync type, which is separate syncs. 1, 2, 3 are the mode pins. And whatever I do, it always acts like well, that doesn't make sense, because I couldn't get it to do 1024 or 768 because pin 1 wasn't working when I tried it. If I configured it for 640 by 480, which is switch 1 down, switch 2 and 3 up, it was putting out some signal that nothing I had could make sense of. And in another mode I got interlaced NTSC, and yeah, interlaced 50 Hz looked dreadful. Not NTSC, PAL is what it says. NTSC / PAL is what it says here, and that looked dreadful in interlaced because it was flickering like hell. I'm wondering if there's actually a fault with the machine, because when I built an adapter cable to do this myself a couple of years ago, it acted the same way. I wired it for 640 by 480 and what came out was not 640 by 480. So yeah, it might be the case that at some point we take this machine apart and inspect it for instance, leaking battery damage or something. Anyway, we have a running AUX system now. It doesn't look any different apart from the fact that it hasn't got the background bitmap to the System 8 or System 9 that was running previously. You can see all this junk on the desktop is because it's pulled that in from the hard drive, which is annoying. Time to get out the scope to extend the stream? No, not at the moment. There's some black and yellow caution tape all over the back of this thing. Has been since I bought it. I'm not entirely keen on taking the case off for the first time live on stream. I might have a look inside first, and then we'll look at it another time. But let's have a quick look around at AUX for 10 minutes before Shelby o'clock. I presume Shelby is streaming today. Haven't seen anything to the otherwise. So we have, well, it looks just like standard macOS or System 7 is what it's based on, the interface, but it has Unix permissions here, which is new, logged in as root, and owner group world RWX bits and all the rest of it. And if we go into the Apple menu, there is Command Shell, which is very unusual for a Mac of this vintage. Let's do something about that size. Fonts 14 point? No, bigger than that please. 18 point. There we go. That might be legible. Thank you, Cobb. That's very gratifying to hear. But of course, next week or Saturday night, the clocks change in Europe. They don't change in Arizona at all. So if I started at 6 next week, we'd run until 8 when Shelby takes over. So I don't know whether that's going to work for me. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, maybe we go to 2 hour streams next week, or maybe I do an hour, then Majenko does an hour. I don't know. I'll talk to Majenko about what he wants to do, and we'll come up with something. But yeah, no, we'll think about it. So anyway, yes, we have a terminal on a Mac. That's interesting. Date: Thursday, December the 31st, 1608 Pacific, 1903. Yeah, I'm guessing, because I set the time last night, I'm guessing the battery is dead. So maybe it has leaked all over the place. So, uname -a AUX localhost. Okay. sys5 release 2. So yeah, we appear to actually have a Unix. The usual stuff is here. du-s star. I don't think we have anything particularly modern on here because it was released in something like 1993, I think. /Unix. 2003. That's interesting. (1994) new Unix there. Okay. So yes, it's an early 90s, so we won't have Perl, I imagine. We definitely won't have Python. We do have Awk. I know that much. And we do have X. So... what is it? 5.2. We have a C compiler. Oh dear, people. No, you can't get in with people, Majenko. So let's do a quick... a quick bit of nonsense with the C compiler. And I have to remember how to write K and RC because this is not an ANSI C compiler, so it's argc argv int argc shell start argv like that, then the bracket, then tab. cc-hello.c. Does it work? It does. First ever retro recall live stream. Yes, that would be a solution. Carrot House, get on it. Is that right? So yeah, we have a pre-ANSI C compiler, which isn't going to get us very far with installing anything on here. But we do have... let's see, can I find my mouse cursor? I cannot find my mouse cursor. There it is. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, exit. And we want... Where's the... There should be a icon for the hard drive. Here. I'm presuming it's gone off the side of the screen. Can I get to it with the arrow keys? Probably not on this version of Mac OS. Splendid. File, new folder, get info. Okay, we'll have to do it the hard way and use the shell to start X. Which is in CD/Mac, I think. So we just do Mac X, I believe. No. Well, this has not gone entirely according to plan, but you can see why I did not want to just spend the entire stream working on this. Text editor is there, command shell is there. There we go. It was a folder, that's why it wasn't executing. Do I take it from that, Chloe, that we are in the countdown? Let me have a look. Apparently we are, yes. So, we'll just very quickly start a remote. This was working yesterday. Maybe I Control Z there. Nope. Okay, that's not going according to plan. So I shall wrap up, I think. Turn that off. Silence that. So anyway. Yes, that's exactly it, Chloe. Also, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and as Cobb mentioned, I was a bit stressed, so things have... Yeah, anyway. Thank you for joining me. It was a bit disjointed, but we made some progress on some things, we made no progress on other things, and we shall probably pick up the RGBtoHDMI analog stuff next week. Hopefully you'll all be there, and in the meantime, let's head on over to Shelby. Cheers all.